welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary, and today's video is going to be my plan with me for the month of September. I'm also going to be including a flip through of the spreads I did for August, since I didn't do a plan with me for August this year. Time kind of got away from me, so if you want to see my flip through of August and my plan with me for September, just keep watching. Okie dokie. This month, I'm starting with the title page, as I always do. I wanted to do a sunflower theme for the month of September, so that's the theme I'm sort of working with. But to start, I decided to write the name of the month in the handwriting I wanted to use, or the like type that I decided to use. In pencil first, because I don't have very good handwriting, so I'm copying something on a screen, which is why I wrote so slowly there. But with the sunflower theme, I decided to do varying shades of yellow, and going from lightest to darkest down this title, and then I go over the top of each letter with the same color a second time to try to make like an ombre effect. It works better with some markers than it does with others, but that's what I'm going for here. Then I'm going ahead and adding a drop shadow, which you can hardly see on screen, or at least I can hardly see it on what I'm watching while editing this, but you can actually see it in person, and it looks really cool, I think. So I'm really glad I decided to do that. And then I used the eraser to erase the pencil marks that I had. And I decided to go ahead and add a highlight to each letter using a white gel pen. So that's what I'm doing here, which again, I think looks kind of cool. I've seen a couple other people do this. So if I can remember to, I will link some of the channels that I have seen use the same style of writing. I am not super creative with my bullet journal, so I borrow from other people's ideas. But again, I like really simple designs that I can do. So then I go ahead and create a Dutch door here, where I basically just cut off the end because I've done this before, and I like the way the little flap looks where you can see part of the underside of the other page coming through. So that's why I did that. And then I'm just doodling some sunflowers. It has occurred to me now, looking back at these, that these look more like daisies than sunflowers, but they're supposed to be sunflowers. That was my plan. A nice late summer, early autumn flower, if you will. So I'm just drawing a couple of doodles of these guys. I think they're really cute, but I like the way that they end up looking. And then I used a couple different shades of yellow on each flower, or I guess I used one shade on each flower, but I used a couple different shades throughout this spread to try to give it a more natural look. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm coloring in the individual petals with the different yellows that I used. And then I go ahead and do a green border. So that's what I'm doing here. I realized just now that I cut off the bottom of this when I was filming, so I apologize for that. But I am just using a green marker to do a border around that page, just to tie in the color green that I wanted to use for these spreads. And again, add some naturalness to the look. And then I'm using a gold paint pen to add some gold dots, just to fill in some of the empty space, because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with all of that space there. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I decided to use the extra edge of the Dutch door area on the second page to write my upload schedule. So if you don't know, I do post on Sundays and Thursdays. And so those are the marks that I'm making there so that I can keep track of the videos that I upload this month. And then on this page, I decided to make it my sort of TBR / reading stats page. I'm not doing a formal TBR for the month of September. I've been liking mood reading a lot more lately, and I am participating in Bookopalathon in September. So my idea is that I'm going to be vlogging, and every time I finish a book, I will go around the Bookopalathon board again and pick a new book with a new prompt. That's the thought process that I have right now. I don't know how many books I'm going to end up reading, but that's sort of how I'm planning on doing it. So it's loosely following the rules of Bookopalathon, but I am going ahead and I did the word reading the same way that I did the title on the previous page, where I go over the top half of the letters to sort of give it an ombre effect. And then I did the highlighting and the drop shadow as well. And now I am writing my stats out. I really didn't want any of these to peek over when you had the Dutch door flap closed, which is why I've got that sticky note there to mark my spot. But the stats that I keep track of are the format that I read the books in, where I got the books, whether it's new, owned, or from the library, the demographic the book is for, the race, gender, and country of origin of the author, and the publication year of the book. And I also usually keep track of genre, which I'm just now realizing I did not write down on there. So I will have to do that somewhere else. That is my bad. So I made a spot on the other page here that just says books read, and I plan on writing the Bookopoly theme that I land on, the prompt, and then the book that I choose for that, as well as the star rating that I give the book. So that's the reading spreads. And now I'm doing my calendar spread. And so for this, I'm going back to an old style of calendar I used to use, but I actually don't do a very good job in this video. I guess I just haven't used this in a while. I don't really know, but I don't do a very good job of actually keeping up with where everything is. So I forgot that I don't usually mark vertically. I only do horizontal lines. So I did do vertical lines in this, which kind of throws me off for this whole thing. I also use my white gel pen to clean up mistakes. That's something that I learned from, I think Riley Autumn is the name of the girl who does that on her channel, but that's where I got that idea. But yeah, this is where I go ahead and put in the vertical lines, even though I don't usually do this, and I don't like the way this looks at all. So I will not be continuing to do it this way in the future. I don't know why I did it this way right now, because it just looks kind of odd. But this whole calendar ends up kind of being a mess. So I'm trying to use my accent colors a little bit with some more of that orangey yellow as the numbers. And then, again, using my white gel pen to fill in the numbers. Also, if you notice, the top left-hand corner has a dot in it, even though it's not technically part of September. I will fix that in a minute, but yeah, it just is what it is. This month, I was very rusty in putting together my journal. So I also messed up by starting on a Monday instead of Sunday, which is how I do my big calendars. I start on Sundays, but I do my weekly starting on Mondays. So it just confused me because, again, I haven't done this in a while. And so I just made a big box around it and then ended up writing the days of the week in white gel pen. Again, the savior of my journal spreads. But I'm just going to go ahead and label the calendar with September, and then on the right-hand side, I went ahead and put in my to-do list for the whole month, and then also the brain dump for anything that I need to write down. So I have a wedding that I'm going to in September that I'm gonna have to put in here and stuff like that. But I am adding some doodles just to make it more fun and colorful. I didn't put any doodles on the other page because there was one in the corner and I just didn't add any more. But yeah, I'm doing more of those sunflowers, again, alternating the colors so that it has a more natural look. And then we will move on to the first weekly for this month. Oh, not yet though, because first I have to do the, I made little lines with the pen, and then I remembered I wanted to use the gold gel pen or paint pen, and then I accidentally had too big of a splotch of gold paint. So I tried to mop that up with my excess paper that I cut off, and I'm just making sure I have enough pages for my weekly spreads marked out, because I do have the rest of my journal for the rest of the year marked out so that I don't use too many pages, so that I can keep it all in one journal for the whole year. And then I started using a different weekly layout last month, and I actually really liked it for me. I felt like it worked really well, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just drawing a bunch of different boxes for each day of the month, or of the week rather, and then a big box, which is going to be my big to-do list, meal prepping thing. Everything I need to do, basically, I can do in that box, and that's super helpful. So this worked really well for me last month, and I'm going to continue to use it in September. And I'm just writing what days this month encompasses, the days of the week for each of the things, as well as my this week label for the big box. And then I am going ahead and putting in my sunflower. And you can see as this goes along, I have pulled the journal closer and closer towards myself and cut off more and more of the bottom, but you're not missing anything really with these spreads. So I will eventually figure out the filming layout for the new house, but now we're gonna start a flip through of August. So August, I did a firefly theme. That is my cover page. I did the calendar theme the way that I usually do, but I messed this calendar up too. And then I didn't do a TBR in August, so I just have my reading stats spread. And then this is where I started those weekly spreads. These worked really well for me. You can kind of see how I would write things in the daily boxes and then write things in the weekly boxes. And this also helped with like memory keeping, which is why I liked it so much. But there's the September title page, the reading stats / mood readers TBR thing, the calendar that I did that I don't really like the look of, and my weekly spread. So that is that for my plan with me for September. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful or enjoyable to watch. Let me know in the comments down below what theme you used in your bullet journal for the month of September, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!